All right, so where you want to go is, let me get this out of the way. Where you want to go is up to products, supercharts. And since we already have it loaded on our screen already, and then run, I got some stuff on here already that I'm gonna go ahead and just take off for you. Okay. And we're just gonna focus specifically on PipJuice. So one of the things that I like to trade is gonna be gold. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the right asset at the top. So we have gold, and the ticker for gold is XAU USD. You'll see gold pop up. A good broker is Oanda. All right, you see Oanda. Another good asset I like to use is silver, XAG USD, and you'll see XAG USD spot, or you'll see this one up here says silver, but I always click Oanda. Another one would be USD JPY, all right, which is a forex pair. It's not a metal, but it's a currency. Click the one that says Oanda. So you can use any of these three to get you started when it comes to PipJuice. Again, my personal preference is with using gold. So I'm going to go to XAU USD. I'm going to click the one that says Oanda, etc. So keeping it simple, guys, all you have to do when it comes to PipJuice is literally go down to your 5 or 15 minute, okay? And depending on what session you're in, remember I was talking to you guys earlier about depending on what session you all are in, if I click this here and I'm in New York session, the New York session PipJuice is gonna pop up, all right, where this line is right here. It's gonna pop up at 5 a.m. in the morning, okay? All of these boxes, as long as you're on the New York session, they're gonna pop up at 5 a.m. in the morning. All right. So at 5 a.m. in the morning, you're going to get that information. Before 5 a.m., the market, your screen is going to look like this here. All right. At 5 a.m., boom, you're going to get all of the data. It's going to pop up on your screen so that you can actually execute with PipJuice. Now, you don't have to be up at 5 a.m., right? But for the New York session, that's what time it actually works. Okay. Now, if I was to switch to the Asian session settings, just refresh my screen here. All right. If I change it to my Asian session settings, click Asia, click OK, my box actually moves and my box shows up, right, from 12:15, and it'll show up around 6 o'clock p.m. So the New York session shows up at 5 a.m. and then the one for the Asian session will show up at 6 p.m. So before 6 p.m., this is what your TradingView will look like. And then at 6 p.m., actually, candle shows up for 6. You'll get the rest of the data that you actually need. So just keep that in mind. One of the cool things I like about PipJuice, it can be scheduled. So you can literally know the information pops up at 5 a.m. for New York and 6 p.m. for Asia session. All you got to do is toggle it inside of PipJuice. That's it. Right. So let's jump into the fun stuff. Let's jump into like, how do we use it? Right. That's why you got it. That's why you're here. You actually want to know how to use it. So how do we use it? Now, PipJuice, let's just stay on the Asia session. On Asian session, PipJuice is going to give you a few different things. All right. If you're new to trading, this is great because it's going to give you some very simplistic information. So the first thing it's going to do is tell you if it's going to buy or sell. And what PipJuice works around is something called pending orders. All right. Pending orders. What that means is the market doesn't necessarily put you into a trade immediately. It allows you to actually wait until certain prices, which are to the right over here. Just put a line. These are certain prices over here. So when certain prices on an asset like gold reaches 5280 or 5300 or 5240, when certain prices and the market moves into those prices, what'll happen is a pending order will be triggered for either the buy or the sell. So they don't put you in early, which is like market execution. They'll put you in once a certain number is hit. So how does that work? Right here, the market's going to give you, PipJuice is going to give you two things. They're going to give you a buy stop entry and a sell stop entry. And right next to it, you're going to see some prices. So with the sell stop entry, you see 52.05.661. And then for the buy stop entry, you're going to see 52.96.254. So what that means is the market will tell you if the market comes up here to this price, 52.925.254, the market is going to trigger you into a buy. If the market comes down here to 52.05.66, it's going to trigger you in for a sell. So it's going to look like this. It's going to hit it and then make you go up. Sell stop entry, if it hits it, that means the market should be going down. That's what buy stop entry means, and that's what sell stop entry means. And the cool thing about it, you don't have to be on your screen. You don't have to be using your phone. You don't have to use. You don't have to be there when the trade execute. All you do is set it and go about your day until one of these gets triggered. So how does it work from there? Once you see your buy stop entry and your sell stop entry, the next thing we want to do is identify two other areas. One of those areas is going to be, where do I take profit? And another one of those areas is going to be, where do I exit in a loss, which is called stop loss. All right. So exit with loss, and then take profit is going to be exit with a win. I say a win. Okay. Super simple. Super simple. And then the pending orders, right, are going to be literally buy stops or sell stop. But I put it like this, you don't have to be on the charts. Okay. That's what pending orders stand for. You don't have to be there when the market triggers you into a trade. Okay. So once we know where our pending order prices are going to be at, either 52.96.254 or 52.05.661, we want to identify our exit if we win the trade. So one of the cool things about PipJuice is, again, they're going to give you that information as well. So how do you take profit and exit with a win? So how PipJuice works, they're going to have buy stop entry that pairs up with these things called buy stop TPs. Buy stop TP. Now they're in order from a buy stop TP1, buy stop TP2, buy stop TP3, right? Same with the other side. The sell stop entry is paired up with these things called sell stop TPs. So they're in order. Sell stop TP1, TP2, TP3. Now with PipJuice, the cool thing about it is it's just a numbers game, right? Statistically, how PipJuice is actually designed is for it to hit your sell stop entry, this price here, 52.005, and at 80 to 90% accuracy, it should come right here to this second line that says sell stop TP1. 90% of the time. All right. I'm gonna put that there as well. 90% of the time. And to be honest with you guys, that's amazing to have such accuracy in the market. So I'm gonna say 90% of the time it's gonna hit TP1. Okay. Vice versa up here. If the market triggers you in with one of these pending orders, and it triggers your buy pending order at 52.96.24, your take profit, where you exit with the win, is going to be right here where it says buy stop TP1. So it'll put you in a trade, push up, and once it hits that price at 5311.35, the market will take you out in a win. So it hits the TP1s about 90% of the time. All right. The other part to it, it can go to these additional TPs, right? TP2, TP3. And I know what you're saying. Why not stay in a trade? One thing about trading is probability says this. The longer you stay in the trade, the more risk that you take that the market is not going to go there. What do I mean by that? At 90% of the time, we're going to hit TP1. But as we get further and further away from TP1, our percentage and or likelihood of going there drastically drops to about 70, 72% to TP3, right? So I get it, right? You want to make as much money as possible because you want to see the market just keep running down and make you more profit. But as our percentages starts to change, that means our risk starts to change. And as a lower probability situation of 72% versus 90%, I will much rather take my 90%, right, over potentially risking winning 90% to potentially get an additional 72%, which is lower. So keep it simple for yourself. Enter in your sell stop TP1 always until you get savvy with PipJuice, okay? It's no need to try to keep going for further TP2 or TP3. These prices, you can literally collect your money, get out the trade, and then wait for an additional trade to show up either in the next session, which would be New York, or the next day, which would be another Asian session. So Asian session pops up every day, 5 days a week, okay? Literally Sunday, all right? Sunday to Friday, every day. New York as well shows up Sunday to Friday. So you'll have about 10 opportunities to take trades throughout the week, which is more than enough for you to see some consistency and to see some amazing returns. Now, the last thing you want to do, all right, I'm gonna just hit these with some checks. We went over pending order, okay? We went over how to actually take profit. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. What happens if the trade doesn't work out for us? Well, there's something called a stop loss. And what a stop loss does is, it's just in the name. It keeps us from losing all of our money, but it takes us out in a loss, okay? So what I want to do is not only when I enter a trade and I put in, let's say it hits my buy entry at 52.96.254, and then I want to tell it to take me out of a trade when it hits to 53.11.11.35. What I want to do is I want to put a safety parameter on me so that if the trade goes bad, doesn't go up towards my TP1, it goes the other direction and starts going down. Well, I want to put in what's called a buy stop loss. That's what SL stands for. So this buy stop loss pairs with this buy stop entry. All right. So what I actually want to do, let me get another arrow, is if the market puts me in here, but does something where it comes back down this way, and I'm just going to turn that red. I want to put this number in where it says 522076 because it's telling that pending order that if we got it incorrectly, take me out of the trade here so I don't lose all of my money, right? One thing about trading is you have to have risk parameters in place just in case that it does go bad. But again, most of the time it's going to hit TP1. Right? And the other 10% of the time, it can come down here to to your buy stop loss. Same thing on the other side. If I was here and the market was coming down to TP1, it hit that 90% of the time, just in case the market doesn't go in the right direction, instead of it coming down here, it decides to go back up this way. Well, instead of me sitting in the trade and losing all of my money, I'm going to pair this sell stop entry at 52.05.661 with the sell stop loss, which is 52.81. Okay. So once I actually pair that up, I just entered this information in. So To enter it in, three things you're going to need. You're going to need to enter a trade. You're going to need a checklist. You're going to need your entry price, your TP1, and your stop loss. Okay. You're going to need those three things. Once these three numbers are entered into your platform, whether it's TradeLocker, MetaTrader 405, TraderVate, whatever you're currently using, once you enter this into your your trading platform, you're done. So every time you put a trade in, the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to give an example, is I want to make sure I enter the trade price, the TP1, and the stop loss. But I wanted to explain to you guys what pairs up with what. All right, so let's just do a quick little example and then go from there. So the first example, let's just do if the market was to move in the sell stop entry direction. So that means we're looking for the market to come down here and then trigger us in on our sell stop entry. So all I have to do is put this number in right here, 5205661. That's all I have to put in. So I'm going to put that in first, and I'll just put that in through an example here. 5205661. The next thing I want to pair it up is with the TP that goes with the sell stop entry. So sell stop entry, the sell stop TPs go with the sell stop entry. Do not put buy stop TPs with sell stop entries, and do not put sell stop TPs with the buy stop entries. Sell stop entries and sell stop TPs mirror each other. They go together very, very well. Don't mix it up. So the sell stop TP would be 5196.563. All right. Once I have that information, I'm good to go. And then the last but not least, I want to make sure if this trade doesn't keep going in this direction to hit my sell stop TP1 and decides to go bad, which is indicated in this red arrow, and it goes the other direction, because the market will put me in for a sell, we want to see a drop. But if it decides to go up, we want to enter in our sell stop loss number, which is 5281.155. 1 point. Okay. Now you have everything for your sell trade. You will take that same process and actually do it for the buy stop entry. So you would literally go and get your entry price for your buy, your take profit 1 for your buy, and then your stop loss for your buy. So you're going to be putting in 2 trades. Okay. You're going to be putting in 2 trades per session. So here's the session, the Asia session. You're going to put in all the information for your sell stop pending order, and then you're going to put all your information in for your buy stop entry pending order. Once you have those both in, you should have 2 trades on your platform, and all you do from there is just wait. Okay. One of these sell stop entry or the buy stop entry will get triggered. Okay. Now, this is what I was talking to you guys about earlier when it comes down to your TradingView account. So with the free account, you don't really get too many other cool things. But with the higher packages, with just the next tier up, it's anywhere from like $15 to $18 per month, or you can pay for the year. You can actually put alerts by using this little clock to the far right on when these buy stop entries are triggered, meaning again, you don't have to be in front of the computer. So if you click this here, this clock, move this over, I have an opportunity to create an alert. All right, I get an opportunity to create an alert, and you'll see a list of them here. Okay, so if I click alerts, where it says alerts and log, I hit the plus sign here. And let me get out of replay mode. And if that just threw you guys off at all, let me go back here. And I'll use the example that we were just using, which was this trading situation here. Okay, it was this situation right here. So what I want to do is I want to create a pending order for this buy stop entry and this sell stop entry. So if I click the plus sign, I can actually tell the market, hey, when gold goes up or down or crosses this certain number, let me know. So with the buy stop entry at 5296.25, I can tell the market when this is crossed at this number, 5296.25, let me know. You can even put a message on there and say, gold up. And then the message, gold up. Just letting you know that the gold buy or gold buy, right? Was triggered. Once you hit notifications, you can get an in-app notification. You can get a certain sound that'll play. But to keep it simple, we'll just leave it as is, and then we'll just hit create. Once we hit that create, that alert is now active, okay? The second thing we want to do is go get an alert for the sell stop entry right here, and we just take that same number, 5205.61. So we're going to go back over here to where the clock is at, toggle to the alerts, hit plus, and when the market is crossing gold at this number here, 5205.661, 5205.661, hit create. We're going to create an alert for that. Now we can also add the message in of gold sale. Gold sale. Hit save. Okay, you're done. So this is literally how you would actually use PipJuice, where you can, you have all the information you need is given to you. Okay, you know the accuracy percentage of when it's going to hit TP1 is highly likely, and then it decreases in likelihood as it goes to TP3. And then the last step is just entering the information into your trading platform, whether it's a Trade Locker, MetaTrader 405, TradingView, NinjaTrader. And the very, very last thing that you can do is create alerts for when the buy stop entry is triggered, the sell stop entry is triggered. And to go even further, you can actually create alerts for when your TPs are hit or stop losses are hit. So if you literally want to know if your TP was hit, you'll do the same process for creating an alert for your entry. You'll create the same thing here and just say when gold crosses TP1 5311.35 or the TP for the sell stop 5190.63, just alert me. So this allows you to be way less hands-on when it comes to PipJuice. And last but not least, when PipJuice triggers one of these and gives you an alert, what you're going to do is go into whichever trading platform that you're currently using, and you're going to delete the other pending order. So what do I mean by that? That means if it triggers my buy stop entry, and I'm going to know that because my alert's going to trigger, I'm going to then go into my trading platform and I'm going to cancel the sell order, okay? And vice versa. If the market triggers my sell stop entry, I'm going to go in and I'm going to cancel the buy order, pending order that I have in here, because it's only going to shoot out to one side. And we want to make sure we get that one and not for it to come back and trigger us in on the other side. Now, if you do see that from time to time, do not get FOMO. Do not try to chase that trade because you don't know. PipJuice is designed to take one side of these trades. So we put in both sides of it to see which one is actually going to hit. Best times to use PipJuice is literally after the New York session, which I mentioned earlier, which is going to be when it comes out at 5 a.m. It's best to use it after 6 a.m. and put the information in. Okay, so when New York comes out, best time to use it is after 6 a.m., possibly 7 a.m. When I go and toggle it from New York session to Asia session, the best time to use it, since Asia session comes on at 6 p.m., the best time to use it is around 7 p.m., okay, and 8 p.m. So let's just do a quick example of what all of that will look like so you can see what it looks like when PipJuice is in action. And I'll show you the latest one that happened here today. So this is using gold, using the Asian session setting. I'm going to do a bar replay, which pretty much says we're going back in time for when PipJuice first set up. And we're going to walk through each of those steps that we just mastered. So here we go. At 6 p.m., we get all of our information for PipJuice. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create our pending orders, okay? You can do that literally within by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, but we want to create our pending orders first. So we're going to create our buy stop entry, pair it with our buy stop take profit 1 with our buy stop stop loss. And then on the other side, we want to pair up our sell stop entry with our sell stop TP1 and our sell stop stop loss. So let's see what happens and see which one triggers. So let's say we went ahead and did our pending orders. Okay, we found our take profits. We found our stop loss because it's all given to you as soon as PipJuice pops up. Okay, we entered all of the information into it. The other step is we're going to add an alert to our entry for sales and buys. And when that is hit, it'll look like this. Market moves, and as it's moving, I'm just going to go candle by candle. These are 15-minute candles. So as soon as the market hit this line and triggered your buy stop entry, you're going to get an alert, and we're going to go in and cancel out that sell stop pending order because we don't want the market to come back and put us into the sell. So once that sell stop entry is out, all we're concerned about is this buy going from here to here, or it's for us to win, or it's going to go from here down to our buy stop loss. I'm going to turn that red for you guys. And then it's going to take us out in the loss without us losing our entire account. So let's see which one that it hit. As it's moving, boom, right there, the market would have took us out. We had a successful PipJuice trade right there. We made profit, and all we're doing now is waiting either for the next Asia session that shows up at 6 p.m. or we can toggle our PipJuice to the New York session and we'll get another trade at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Just make sure you follow those simple steps when it comes to trading with PipJuice, and through repetition, it'll be like clockwork. Back to you, Ron.
My goodness, my goodness. When I tell you guys PipJuice is the game changer, Delaney has broken this down to the easiest way to digest this. Guys, we're going to be hosting calls. We're going to be hosting trainings. We have a community that's amazing. This PipJuice is the only thing that we're going to be talking about for a long time because it is making the wins inside of our community. So with that being said, guys, check the links below this video for any documents or any additional resources that might go with PipJuice. If you have any questions, make sure you ask in the group, and we'll see you on the next call. Recording.